Hello everyone and welcome to Pennsylvania Outdoor Life. I'm Don Jacobs in the Pennsylvania Outdoor Life cabin. Gotta admit I've been consumed with turkeys lately. Yesterday, the Youth Day, probably have a great story on that one coming up here as we begin to write that. I've got to also tell you lots of fishing going on. Now, a friend of Pennsylvania Outdoor Life, Tom Leinhardt from Carbon County, invited us down. We tied a fly and then we went fishing. But this fishing story is so exciting, that is exactly what we're going to start the show with. Here's Tom Leinhardt on a swollen Lehigh River.
We're in Jim Thorpe. We're at the Glen and Oka. We're going to do some fishing today. As you can see, the water's up. Flows like 4,600 CFS in Lehigh. Typically, anything over 1,000's tough to fish here. But we're going to give it a shot. We're going to do some tight line nymphing, Euro nymphing, whatever you want to call it. So we're going to put on the same fly we tied up this morning, Pat's rubber leg, and we're actually going to put on an egg pattern. We're going to fish 2 flies. I'm just going to do a little egg. It's kind of like an attractor, but it's also, there's tons of eggs in the water. So I look at it like there's always stone flies and they always see eggs. So they're the 2 patterns we're going to see.
All right, so we've got a pretty heavy moving stream here. You're all set up with weight. You're double rigged.
Yep.
Show me a cast or two and let's catch a fish.
So I'm going to step in the water here and going to make some, we want to fish this seam like right in here.
Right.
I'm hoping some of these fish moved in and we'll kind of fish our way up.
Okay.
There's a little midge already, you know.
So you got bugs coming up already.
You know, we know the fish are down there, you know they're feeding. Now we got to kind of get down to that zone. But the tight line nymphing goes back to like when I first started fishing with my dad. He made us use fly rods, and what he would do is put on our tippet and he would go down to a swivel. And then he'd tie on and we put a minnow on. We used to have flies, you know, salted minnows, worms, you know, and whatever we could do to catch fish. But it was the same thing, like you'll see today when we're tight line nymphing. It was the same thing as when we were kids, you know, when you're sitting there with your pole, you're keeping everything tight, bouncing off the bottom. It's a very simple, same procedure as when I first started. Got one.
Got one on.
Yep.
Nice job, brother. Nice
I think
job.
he took the egg pattern.
It hit the top fly, the egg pattern?
Yes. That's a little stock rainbow.
Yeah.
But hey, we'll take it in high water.
You know what, most people that look at this water, Tom, and say not gonna fish it,
Yeah.
you were determined to catch a fish for a show. It's to the cameras there.
Absolutely.
Rainbow, Lehigh River, high conditions. Nice job, buddy.
Thank you. So I have fished it a couple times this year. I fished it over the winter. Browns and rainbows mainly. There's some really nice wild fish in here in the whole Lehigh River. The Lehigh River right now, I love the Lehigh River. I love the scenery. I love the eagles flying around. Has great hatches. I mean, I think the Lehigh River is probably one of the most underrated fisheries in Pennsylvania. I really do. It's a wonderful place to fish. There we got him.
Nice going. Nice going.
It's a nice one. On the egg again.
What pattern did this one hit?
The egg pattern.
Egg again?
Yep. I said with the just a beautiful rainbow there.
Let's see it there.
Oh,
that's okay.
It was a nice one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, the egg pattern. It is stocked. It's stocked by the state, stocked by the LRSA, 5 Mile Club. So yes, there's fish. I don't know who put fish in yet, but I believe the state has put fish in yet. I don't know about the other two clubs.
So this is part of the Lehigh Gorge State Park?
Yes, it is.
So tell me about the water. Right now it is heavy, but typically moving pretty good through this section anyhow, right?
It is. It's off-colored. In high water, the fish are going to move, you know, to one side or the other. I would say they're going to move to this side because you can see the faster current over there. They're going to either get down low or going to push into the side. And hopefully we can nymph this seam right down in through here and pick up a fish or two. Got him.
Another fish on. Good job. That looks like a nice one.
That is. On the egg.
What kind of trout we got there, brother?
Rainbow.
That's 3 rainbows. Beautiful. Nobody else fishing. This
Nope.
is against all odds. You've got high water, wind blowing. Beautiful rainbow trout,
Yeah.
my friend. Nice going. So you do a lot of fly fishing. What is
Yes.
it about that over bass fishing or any other kind of fishing?
You know, the fly fishing for me, I love, you know, I like that rhythm method of the, you know, the casting. I like going, tying a fly up that I created, and not that I actually created, but that I tied, and going out and trying to fool a fish when it's feeding on the surface. I mean, there's not a better feeling when I'm out on the water and I see a fish sip and I see a March brown or a sulfur coming down, and I see this, you know, brown trout just come up and make a real nice little, and I go out there and make a couple casts hopefully and can catch that fish. That's just a great feeling, and it's an addiction, you know, once you do that once. And got one on the stonefly.
Ooh, beautiful fish there.
Oh, and he spit the hook.
And it's off.
But we did have him on that upper stone there. We're fishing 2 stoneflies, but my bad. Got him. On the stonefly. And that's one we tied this morning. That's the exact fly we tied this morning. So on that stone.
Finally caught one on the stonefly.
Oh yeah, and that was the one we tied this morning too.
Yeah,
Like
was it?
one of those 2 or 3 that I
Nice.
tied.
Good job.
Yep.
Thank you, Tom. And of course, you are indeed, in my mind, one of the most logical thinking, practicing fly fishermen that I know. Now, we're going to take a short break. When we come back, like we promised, we're going to tie up a fly with Tom.